So remember when I said I was gonna do my... I was basically gonna do my top 10 movies of 2015 next? I lied. I'm gonna talk about this because, one, it's still fresh in my memory, and two, I gotta be honest, the list I'm still building on, because I recently watched about 2-3 other movies that came out last year, and I was like, I haven't done the list yet, I can cheat a bit. Yeah. Also, I know a lot of you guys are like, oh my god, he's back. I'm just kind of imagining one person in particular, you know who you are, is acting like Rafiki in that scene in The Lion King where he's like, he's alive! He's alive! And just start, like, grabbing an image of, like, a Godzilla action figure covered in a Deadpool costume poorly, and he's just, like, making a mane around. He's like, it is time. I'm pretty... you know who you are, first off. You know who you are. I'm not going to say any names, but you know who you are. But yeah. So yeah, let's talk about Deadpool. Now, yeah, last night I saw the early premiere, and yeah, the movie's just out, so I won't spoil anything, but... You know, even though my name's Deadpoolzilla, I did go through a Deadpool phase, I kind of grew out of it. And I didn't really have a lot of high expectations for this film, but having said that, guys, you need to go see this fucking movie right now. Like, just go. Get out of the house right now and go to the nearest movie theater. Go see this movie right now, because goddamn was this perfect. Like, the thing is that I didn't have a lot of expectation for this film because I thought it felt like a cheap cash grab. It was going to be nothing but poopy and farty jokes. There's surprisingly very little of that. There's a lot of sex jokes, and I do mean a lot. And the director had only done, like, montages, and the writers hadn't really done anything, like, super big, apparently. So when this movie came out, I didn't have the highest expectations, and also, this is actually the first movie I got to see with a D-box. Let me explain what that is, for those who don't know, in case you're thinking, why'd you go see it with a dildo box? For those wondering what that is, a D-box is basically... It's like being in a 4D seat. They basically have these motion controls that let you feel the movements of the movie. It's like being in a 4D theater, except nothing's really... Well, if you have the 3D glasses on, which we didn't have, because that'd have been super fucking expensive, it's like moving in the theater. It's like a 4D theater, basically. So that's the first time I felt that. And it's actually kind of a weird experience, because I felt like the seat moving during the opening credits, which are completely fucking genius, let me add, Those opening credits will tell you, this is the movie you need. Deadpool fans, we got you. So, yeah. With Deadpool, this movie is just fantastic. I can go on and on about this movie. It is... The writing's wonderful, and it does change Deadpool's origin a little bit. I'll spoil that much. I don't want to spoil how they do it. They don't really do the Wolverine DNA thing. That's all I'm going to say, but how they do it is kind of, like, you could see it on its own. But with Deadpool in this movie, Ryan Reynolds, yeah, forget Marakapool, this was the Deadpool he was meant to play, and yeah, Ryan Reynolds, I want to see you do Deadpool for, like, ever. Because that was amazing. There's also some really great tear-jerking moments. Colossus, if I was to give one complaint, Colossus felt a little too CG. Like, he didn't look finished, if you know what I mean. He just didn't look, absolutely 100% finished. I don't know, but Colossus was pretty good. There's also a joke about it, and there's some really... there's fourth wall breaking. There are scenes... I'm glad I got to see this with a friend of mine and a couple of his friends, who, by the way... Like, the group of people I was with, it felt like I was, you know that joke in Family Guy where Peter says, I feel like a pig among guinea pigs. That's how I felt the rest of the night. It was like, alright, you're all my bitches now. Like, that's how it kind of went. But, honestly, this was excluding that, this was a really fun movie. Like, I also glad I got to see this early premiere, as well as in a huge crowd. Like, the theater was packed. It was full-on packed, and people are just howling laughing. Like, there are scenes in here that are just so gut-bustingly hilarious that I could go on and on about it. And there's some really good jokes in here. I'm really interested to see what they have, I'm really curious to see what they cut out exactly. I want to see what jokes didn't make the final cut, if you know what I mean. Because according to T.J. Miller, there were a few, and I'm like, if this is what made it in, I want to see what they said. No, no, we can't do this, man. We just can't. So that's what I'm curious about is just the like what didn't make it in. What was so batshit out there? Because there is one joke in here that's for Women's Appreciation Day, and it's hilarious, especially how Ryan Reynolds' reaction to that. It's I can't explain it. It's just wow. There is a great that is a great moment that made everyone just laugh. I also love how these characters, everyone plays off one another. T.J. Miller's in here. I don't hear Robbie from Gravity Falls because for those who don't know, I actually really fucking hate Robbie in Gravity Falls. He's like one of my most despised characters, and I hate him so much, like I get like a little tense. I tense up whenever I hear like in real life a guy named Robbie's coming over. Like I just tense up, like I'm gonna fight this bitch. If you're named Robbie, then don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. You're fine. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. Gravity Falls made me hate a fictional character. That's I don't know how that factors exactly, but yeah, let's stop talking about that. Now, the other thing this movie does well is action, and also I love how exactly they try to make it like a more. They make it like a Quentin Tarantino film, and let me explain why. Because they do have, like, it's kind of incoherent. It's incoherent in the sense of you're following Deadpool in the present time, which is just a matter of 2 days, Christmas Day and I think New Year's Eve, and you're following him through that as he's trying to hunt down Ajax. But it cuts back multiple times to his origin story. Now, if this movie, I will be honest, if this movie was in cohesion, like if it spliced together coherently, then I think it would have been a little more boring, because it does kind of slow down at the very romantic points. They are good, but I feel like if this was put in cohesion, it'd be a little more slower. So I think that was the call of making it, cutting it up as they did, putting the origin story in between the action and how Deadpool remembers it, because Deadpool's crazy. Of course he's not going to remember. It's kind of like what the Joker said. Sometimes I'll remember some things one way, and sometimes I'll remember something another way. So I think that was what they were going for, in that they wanted to make it incoherent and make you see through the eyes of a madman, and that's kind of what it is. Is like they wanted you to see through Deadpool's eyes and how he remembers everything, and it is kind of a love story in its own right. But there are some really just heartbreaking moments sometimes, especially with Wade and how they do his origin. There are some. What was I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Just great. The action scenes are really good. It's not choppy at all. It actually feels really, to me at least, it felt very clean, and it felt very clean. Like it showed you everything. It didn't cut away or go way too up close. It didn't feel like they were doing that at all. It just felt like, hey, you wanted to see some action. Here's your fucking action, man. So that's how it played out. Was they showed you all of it. They didn't cut away. They didn't want to stray away from anything. They wanted to show you all of it, and from all different angles. Yeah, so that's all I have to say, is that it's a really good movie. I could go on and on. I don't want to spoil this movie. I really don't. I've given some minor spoilers here and there, but really it's pretty damn good. And it also plays up the fact that the guy they're fighting is a two-dimensional villain. I love how they play that up, because you see that so many times, and it really makes fun. Also, I didn't see the initial trailer that showed Stan Lee, and I didn't want to be spoiled by it, and thank God I didn't, and if you haven't seen it, then, go, by all means, when you see Stan Lee's cameo, trust me, it is totally worth it. If you don't see if you didn't see that leaked trailer, and you still don't know what Stan Lee's cameo is, by God, it is probably one of the top 5 cameos I have seen of him, of Stan the Man Lee. So, thank God for that. So all in all, I highly recommend Deadpool. and go see it. If you're feeling single, or if you're as Jeremy John said, if your girlfriend says, let's go see Deadpool, you slap a ring on it. You slap a ring on that woman and marry her. There is no more question that is the one for you. So yeah, this was actually the first movie I saw of 2016, and there's a good chance it's going to be on my top 10 list for 2016. So, but we'll see. We'll see how everything goes. But right now, it's the only movie I know. Yeah, I know it's the only movie I've seen this year. The first movie I've seen of the year. But still, yeah, I feel like it's going to be a top contender. Just watch. Anyway, so hope you all enjoyed my review. I know it was a little incoherent, but we're talking about an incoherent regenerating maniac, so I feel like I get a pass here. So, what did you guys think of Deadpool? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? I don't know if you could hate it, but yeah. Also, there's a great after-credit scene that shows off something, that talks about something really amazing, and it's kind of something we also kind of expected, but yeah. I'm more or less excited for that too. Anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.